and I'm the Judging Recruitment and Process Manager. The agenda for this webinar is as follows. We will go through the format for the day, consistency of scores, evidence of tangible results, the importance of independent scoring, questioning the finalists, feedback comments, timekeeping, chair of judges, and the confidentiality agreement. Format for the day of the awards. The venue is Wembley Stadium, Wembley, London, HA9 OWS. You should be aware that this has recently been changed from Excel. Once again, please accept our apologies for any inconvenience this may have caused. It is, however, an amazing venue, and all of the judging rooms are in the executive boxes that overlook the football pitch. Further details on travelling to Wembley can be found on the website, at this website address here, but the closest underground station is Wembley Park Station. On arrival at Wembley Stadium, please enter via the Bobby Moore entrance. The UK Customer Experience Awards are the only major event taking place, and there will be signage for registration. Please note that all attendees are required to bring photo ID with them. There will also be a security bag check as you enter the building. A reminder of this venue will be emailed to you prior to the awards, or details of the venue can be seen on our website. The registration desk will be on the ground floor. The registration desk will be open from 8 AM. Here you will be given a judges pack which will include your score sheets for the day, judges briefing notes, and a timetable of the presentation within your category. You will also be provided with a name badge which includes your judging room for the day and your timetable for the and your table number for the evening awards ceremony. As a reminder, we are expecting that you will be staying for the evening and the awards ceremony, unless you have just booked for the day or you advise us differently. You have received a link for you to confirm your attendance. You should have received a link for you to confirm your attendance for the evening and to advise if you have any special dietary requirements. Please ensure this is completed by Friday the 15th of September. The awards ceremony will be set as tables of 10 and we will have allocated you a seat. The dress code for the day is business, and for the evening it will be black tie. A full timetable of the finalist presentations for the day can be seen on the website at this email address, this web address. Closer to the date of the awards, the rooms will also be added to this presentation schedule. By now, the categories that you will be scoring should have been confirmed to you, and you should have received the login details to the entries. If you have not received these emails, please email liesl@awardsinternational.eu. So that's LIEZL@awardsinternational.eu. May I remind you that unless another date has been agreed, the deadline for submitting your scores will be Friday the 15th of September. Some of you will be scoring 2 categories within the same room. However, if you are scoring a category or categories where there are less than 10 finalists in total, you may wish to see one of the open presentations from a different category. So please ensure you take a look at the timetable on the website to plan your day in advance. A few days prior to the awards, my colleague Liesl from the events team will send an email with final details for the day, an introduction to the chair of judges and the other judges on your panel, plus a link to our awards brochure app. Please could you download this prior to your arrival at Wembley Stadium. For most categories, the first presentation will commence at 9 o'clock. So please ensure you are at your judging room by 8:45 AM to meet the other judges. If your first presentation does not start until later in the morning and you decide to arrive slightly after 9 AM, please could you email the chair of your panel to let them know. Consistency of scores. Please ensure that there's adequate coverage of all 6 criteria, plus a summary on the written submission. Please note there is a maximum of 100 marks for each of these criteria. You're looking for clearly and convincingly articulated information, and this may be supported by visuals. You're looking for change in results from before and after the initiative, the time the initiative has taken and the number of employees involved, the size of the budget, a convincing overall story, and that it's not overladen with specific sector-specific jargon, especially that is not relevant to the entry. Evidence of tangible results. So this may include to what extent do the results attribute to the initiative, improvements in scores against recognised indicators, NPSs, surveys, customer retention rates, training programs, sales figures, etc. Achievement of industry standards, staff retention, turnover, promotions and staff satisfaction, achieving access to new market sectors, improvements in financial results, ROI, profitability, etc. And maybe some environmental benefits that have been achieved. Independent scoring. One of the attractions of our awards to entrants is that the scoring is independent and impartial. As I said previously, you should have by now received login details and started scoring your entries. You will be scoring these entries independently, and we also ask for this to continue for your scoring of the live presentations. Please keep your conversations with other judges about an entry to a minimum until after the scores have all been submitted. Please ensure that you score each entry based on the criteria and do not benchmark one entry against another one. All of the score sheets on the day will be collected after each of the presentations. Questioning the finalists. Some of the presentations will be opened and some closed. An open presentation means that finalists can sit in on a presentation when they are not presenting. Another presentation means that finalists can sit in on a presentation when they are not presenting themselves. However, this audience should stay for the whole of the presentation. The audience are asked not to ask questions, but in the unlikely event that they do, it would be the chair's role to ask them to leave any questions until the end and only if there is time. It is then up to the presenter if they wish to answer the questions or not. A closed presentation means that it is just for the judges to see. We do encourage our finalists to have open presentations, but at the end of the day, it is the finalist's choice whether they wish to go open or closed. Please remember to bring any of your prepared questions with you. As a reminder, you will not have access to your scores from the written entries or your comments. So if you think you would like to review these on the day, please bring these with you. You should add your scores to the score sheet once all of the questions have been answered from the finalists to the panel of judges. To be fair to all of the finalists, please try and ask the same level of questioning to all of the finalists. Although it is not essential to ask questions if you feel that you have sufficient information, but it may be helpful to point this out to the finalists. Feedback comments. Please ensure that your writing is legible because these have to be typed up afterwards. You summarise the positive and negative of the key points only. Comments as full sentences, not bullet points. This also helps with the typing up afterwards for the feedback report. Please note it's not necessary to comment on each of the criterion. Please ensure that you give constructive comments, and up to 100 words is ideal. Please also be mindful of the fact that other members of the panel may not share the same opinion about an entry as you, and you may be surprised about who the winner is when they're announced in the evening. We therefore ask that you do not provide feedback to a finalist until after the winners have been announced. If a finalist asks you for individual feedback, it may be more appropriate for you to provide this post the awards, and this also gives you an opportunity to share your business contact details. Timekeeping for the day. So, as I previously said, the registration desk will be open from 8 o'clock. We then ask for judges to go to their rooms at 8:45. At 8:55, the first presenter will enter the room and start to set up to commence their presentation promptly at 9 o'clock. This will be for 15 minutes. Followed by the 15-minute presentation, you will be questioning the finalists directly about their initiative. And then at 9:30, this session will end. They will then start to clear away, and the next finalist will enter at 9:35. Between 9:30 and 9:40, the judge scores collator will be collecting the scores from the chair of the judges. And then at 9:40, the next presentation commences. This 40-minute time slots will continue throughout the day with a couple of breaks. There's a break at 10:10. And then there will be a break for lunch at 12:30. And then at 1:30, the next presentations commence again. There will then be a coffee and tea break at 2:40. And then at 5 o'clock, all the presentations will end. We'll then join together again for a drinks reception at 7 o'clock. And this will be followed by the awards ceremony where the winners are announced. We expect all the presentations of the awards to be finished by around 10:30, and so around that time there will be music and continue to celebrate until 12 o'clock. Chair of Judges. All judging panels have a chair. This is normally performed by somebody who has previously judged for us. Briefing notes will be sent to the Chair of Judges. The primary responsibility is to ensure the scoring process is followed, including the timekeeping and the independent scoring. An email will be sent to each panel to introduce the chair and the judges during the week prior to the awards. Confidentiality agreements. As you're aware, as one of our judges, you should have signed a confidentiality agreement. So I'd just like to remind you of the terms of that confidentiality agreement. Also, we've asked you if you have any conflict of interest with any of the finalists within your category, and if anybody has raised that with us, then we have discussed it with them separately. Next steps. This webinar will be emailed to all of the judges, and as I previously mentioned, by Friday the 15th of September, all the scores should have been submitted unless we've agreed otherwise. Then during week commencing the 25th of September, an email will be sent to all of our judges to introduce your chair and the judging panel. We'll be attaching the judging key points document, which will also be available to you on the day of the awards. A link to the awards brochure app, which, as I previously mentioned, if you could download before the day, it would be helpful, and also further directions for the day. This is our Twitter handle, if you can use that, please. And as a final reminder of our other awards. Our next awards will be the UK Business Awards, which are being held, the finals are being held in November. And then that will be followed by the UK Digital Experience Awards, where the finalists will be held in December. Thank you once again for listening to this webinar. If you do have any questions, please point them towards either Liesl, that's Liezl at Awards International, or the judging inbox. Many thanks, and I look forward to seeing you at the awards.